Okay, I think we are live now. So I want to take questions so that we can proceed to today's class. Is there anything that you still find confusing or you still don't understand? Like if you are asked to handle, you would be confused because that's the whole essence of this class. By the time we are done with this training, one of the goal is for you not to be confused, is for you your ability to own a project. Okay, your ability to own a project is one of the goals of this training. Not being confused and not knowing what to do. So based on everything we've done so far, is there anything you still don't understand so that we can take a look at it before we proceed? Anything? Again, here, this is the brain work. Whenever we are saying design is providing solution, this is what we are looking at, the brain work. So the way you think an app should work, it's always in your head. It's not something you will learn somewhere. Okay, it's not something you will learn somewhere. You are the one formulating that idea. But of course, there are some popular ones we do all the time, like with e-commerce, like with ride hailing, all those ones. Their flow have been pretty standardized. But when you are trying to create something else, the flow is all is basically your product. So you are to come up with that flow and explain to the people, okay, this is how this is going to work. From here, the user does this, and this does that, and this does that. So when you are trying to create something the same block from making decisions, you represent them with diamonds. Starting your rounded rectangles, you have your squares. Those basic shapes we talked about, they are constant. So whenever you are speaking with other professionals, when they look at your flow and see certain shapes, they know, okay, exactly this is what is going on here. Now, in in a work environment, you might be given a user story to build out, or you might be sent a flow to design. You as a product designer, you should be able to look at the flow and understand what exactly is going on. In some cases, you might be the one to do these flows and also come up with a user story. Okay, let me also in some cases. In rare cases, you might be the one to work on the user story and come up with the user flows. In most cases, if you get a job as product designer, you'll be given this and you'll be working. But like I said, when we learn something like product design, UI UX, okay, especially we took some times to do UI UX, to do UX, okay. If you if you finish this course, it's not necessary that you would find a job as a product designer, although that's what a lot of people apply for, by the way. But if you see anywhere where they said UX researcher, you can also apply. If you see where they said user researcher, you can also apply. Okay. Now these are different sectors you could apply aside the design itself. But if you get a job as a product designer, some of these things might be sent to you. So that's what I'm asking. Is there any way you're still having issues or confusion so that we sort it out? Because once we move into design, we might not be coming back to these ones. Joshua, Emmanuel, Inem, Ato, do you guys have any question?
Um, okay. Well, I think my own is it's a whole lot. I it's not that I think we can really sort out here. I think I will just have the one-on-one call. I will
Okay,
schedule.
give me an idea of
It's still
what's
more about the
this.
user research itself.
Okay,
It's still
okay,
I'm still really lost around it. I am
okay,
still lost around it.
okay. Any other person? Okay, Joshua.
Good evening, sir.
Go ahead. Evening.
Okay, so actually, I've not used FigJam before. I have to be very honest. I mean, I've not
Okay.
really worked with FigJam, like in terms of
Okay.
this user flow. It's
Yeah.
kind of like the way you're mapping your user pain points and everything is kind of confusing. So I would like to really have a quick grasp of it.
Did you attend the first class where I introduced you guys to FigJam?
No, I'm still watching it on YouTube anyways. Well, I'm not done with
Okay.
it.
Okay. Anyway, just know that FigJam is a whiteboard. You must not do things on
Okay.
FigJam. Everything you are doing here, you can do on a sheet of paper. You can do on any piece of
Okay.
software. You can even sketch it out. Yes. The reason why we use this is because it's a collaborative platform. Imagine if you draw your flows on a sheet of paper. If you want to share it with other stakeholders, you have to snap picture and send to them on whatever platform they are. Now imagine you want to like get feedback. It's going to be difficult for you to collaborate effectively. Hence why we use FigJam. Now, if you don't want to use FigJam, I might also introduce you guys to Miro later on in the class. That's what I was supposed to use, but I didn't even know when I started this on FigJam because I prefer Miro. Miro has more robust tools for wireframe and all those things. But remember, it is not the tool. It is not the tool. It is the thought process, right? It is the thought process. Now, again, let me reiterate this. One of the reasons why people don't get user research is because you are trying to tie user research to your design. That's to UI design. Okay? User research has been existing before UI design. Okay? User research. So let me do this like this. So with user research informs features and preferences. Okay? User research informs features and preferences. Features and preferences on the other way around. Let me put this, informs. Features and preferences informs UI design. Now, your UI design informs user experience research. Now, your user experience research informs user experience design. And it goes, now user experience design, it basically goes on and on, user research. It's like iterative, it keeps going on and on. Now, let me explain what I mean by here. If you want to start any product, if you want to start any product at all, if you want to start any product at all, remember, these products we keep talking about, they are businesses. It's not abstract. They are businesses. Like right now, you discover that, oh, so in so sector, this is the challenge they are currently having. I want to solve this. Okay, these are real businesses. That's why all this one are called startups. These are real businesses. Real business starts with a plan. Now, in the grand scheme of things, I want to show you where we come in. Can I open this thing up now? Let me see if I can check this out. Okay, I'm trying to let me get something I need you guys to really see because I want you guys to get the whole picture. Okay, It's very important. So you don't conflict these things. Where is it? Where is it? I'm trying to get here. Who is trying to reach me? It's still opening. No, I don't know how to get this now. I'm trying to get this. Wow, tricks. No. CS. I'm trying to get this. Mm, 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 mm. Uh, okay, but let me just explain what I'm trying. I can't find it right now. When you have a product, okay, you have the company, okay. Um, okay. Uh, so let me say, I don't know, someone is trying to call and I'm connected and I don't want to, disconnect to answer the call. Okay. Now, when you are building your product, there are different layers to a company. Everything that makes a company successful is what we call experience management. Okay? Experience management is everything that makes a company successful. So, in every company, you have their experience management. Now, this experience management, you have the stakeholder side, you have the customer side, you have every other thing. Then you have the product. The product, that is the core service that particular business is offering. You have the product. Now, we right now, in a digital or in a software kind of company, we are under the product department. Okay? We are under the product department. Now, inside the product department, that is where you are going to have the product manager, the product designer, and the engineer. Okay? The product manager, the product designer, and the engineer. We are not on the marketing side. We are not on the marketing side. Okay? We are on the product side. Everything that has to do with making sure people have a great experience using the product. Okay? Interacting directly with the product. That is where we are. Now, whenever you want to build out a product, you start with trying to solve a real problem. They are all businesses, whether it's food delivery, ride sharing, and helping people to buy Okreka easier, anything at all, right? It is business. So, in order to know exactly what challenge people are facing, again, in order to know what challenge people are facing and how you can even solve, and if to even check if the market is remember now, it must not be your product though. It is not your product now. You are still trying to build this product, okay? You are still trying to build this product. It is not your product per se, but you discover an instance whereby you could make a difference or you could build a business from. Okay, so to understand the people you are trying to design for, to understand if the market is even viable, to even understand the problem they are having, you do user research. Okay, you do user research. Now, user research is what will now inform the features and the preferences, because from user research, you are going to identify the problems people are facing. Okay. Sorry, I don't know why these people keep calling. So with user research, you are going to understand what people are currently facing. For instance, let's say you want to start a company right now, or you want to build another Slack or another something or another product entirely. You might say, okay, I want to build another social media network. What are the issues people are currently facing with current social media network? You can decide to do user research. Now, that user research, you can do survey. You can, remember, we talked of different methods. You can even do desk research. You can go to websites like, let's say, G2 Review. You can go to a website like this, G2 Review. A lot of people use it all the time to find what people are saying about products. The other website like this, you can even go to your Google store and you can let's just search for, let's say you want to do Slack, something like Slack. You want to build a product like Slack. You can type in Slack. Now, if you type in Slack, it's going to bring you to this page. Now, right here, you can start taking a look at reviews about Slack. There are 33,415 reviews. So you as the researcher now, you are going to be going through these reviews to find out what is giving people the most problem. What are the features? You can see how everything is being organized there, blah, blah, blah. You can also do this on your own by asking people that use Slack. Okay, that is where user research comes in. It informs the features and preferences, or even the problem you are solving and how you want to solve it. You do your user research, you know exactly what you want to do. Now, what you want to do, your features and everything, if you are going to have like a payment screen, if you are going to have like a payments page, then you have to design a screen for it. If you are going to have like a warning page, you have to design a screen for it. Anything you are going to have, so preferences, okay? Now, I think I missed something, the experience. Okay, okay. So after this, you do your UI, okay? In most cases, after you've done your UI, what you think people will understand, they might not understand it that way. So immediately you finish your UI and real people start using it, that is where user experience research starts. Now, what is user experience research? You start researching to understand how people are currently using that app, where they are having issues. That is where tools like Hotjar comes in, right? Tools like Useberry and the rest of them, all those tools for user experience research. This is where they come in, because you install them, you build them right inside the app. And then as people are using that app, you are noticing where they're having challenges. Is there a button that is not working? Is there something you expect them to do, but they are not doing? Is there multiple cart abandonment? You begin to take note of these things. That one is user experience research. Now, the insights you get from here, you use it to improve the user experience design. Okay? You use it to improve the user experience design. And in most cases, you might go back to these users to ask them questions about the app they are currently using or about the services. Whatever it is they tell you informs new set of features and preferences. You design UI for it. That is how it works in the real world. Now, this is where I'm going to with this. In most cases, when you hire people as product designers, they end up here. When you hire people as product designers, a lot of them will end up here. But the world is changing. Most people, especially at the entry level, most people will want you to have a little bit understanding of user research, some understanding of user experience research, some understanding of what user experience design. Okay. Remember, when you do this research, it informs what are we adding, what are we removing. So that's why it's a continuous stuff. So I want you to know that you can actually get a career today in this field without necessarily doing any UI. Now, what leads to user research? I just explained what leads to user research. User research is used to make a lot of decisions. Like I told you, for instance, right now, a lot of people are not watching BB Ninja. In fact, if you've checked online, you see people notice saying that who else is watching BB Ninja? Now, that is a very big problem for the BB Ninja owners. But it will be difficult for them to figure out why people are no longer watching BB Ninja, because Big Brother Ninja is the product they have on air. That's the product they have. But it's going to be difficult for them to figure out why people are not watching it. So, in order to figure out what is happening, why is the viewership lower? Although we don't have their data, which would be that we are just not the ones watching it, others are watching, right? But from their data, they notice that it's quite low. What they will have to do to figure out what the problem is, it is not UI design. It is not to go and make the show more. It is to do user research, to find out. They will ask people that used to watch the show before, ask them question, why are you not watching? Or they'll ask them, are you currently watching BB Niger? Why are you not watching BB Niger? Do you have any issue with this or that? Are you getting it? So that is what user research. Sorry guys, I think I'll just need to answer this call. I don't know why this calls keep coming. I muted my phone. Okay, guys, I'm back. So, like I was saying, user research, it depends on the problem at hand. Okay, you might be asked to go and do a lot of things inside user research. There are a lot of things you do. Now, based on what you're trying to solve, you can decipher a methodology you want to use to solve it. But at the end of the day, it's all about asking questions. It's to ask questions or to seek for answers. That's what user research is. So in an already existing app, you might ask users, what challenges are you having, blah, 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 blah. From their answer, it will inform new features or new preferences. Are you getting? Or even a new solution entirely. Are we together? So I think I will still discuss with you, Mr. Inem, but I want you people to actually get these things off your mind that it is a one-size-fits-all stuff. And like I said, one of the best ways to learn user research is to start from where you are. If you are currently doing a business right now, I want you to check, like a lot of us, especially with designers, we designers, we are used to just focusing on design and forgetting the business part of our design. Okay? A lot of us designers, we can't even account for all the clients that we've worked with from last year to this year. We can't account for them. We just, especially if you are doing freelancing, especially our freelance clients, we can't account for them. If you even have a list of them, when was the last time you reached out to them to know why a particular client have not come back to say, I need a design? That is part of user research. If you finish your services with a client, okay, a client contracted you from start to finish. When you finish your services, did you actually ask the client, how would you rate our service? Or what was the issue you encountered? Or can you tell us your experience within this period that we worked together? That is user research. You find out that from what those clients will tell you, you can use that information to better yourself. Now, in regards to Designgate Academy, if people from stream 1 comes down to stream 4, they will notice a whole lot of difference. That's because after every stream, we ask questions. We use those questions to make the next stream better. So it is a continuous thing. User research is continuous, and in most cases, it is used to make business decisions. Not necessarily, it will affect UI in most cases, but there are a lot of user research insights that is used to make informed business decisions. Are you getting it? And the most digital product, the features and the preferences, right? And those on the features you are designing, you go ahead and do your UI. If you finish the design, the other type of research you start doing is your user experience. That is when people are now using the product. When people are now using the product, not everyone will experience it in the same way. So when people are now using the product, you start your user experience research. And from there, you are going to notice issues, right? And then you begin to fix that issues. And in most cases, again, there are some issues that might need you to go back into user research, where you begin to call some people and ask them questions. And then whatever they are going to be telling you, we now go back to what? Informing features and preferences. So it's not a straight stop. It's an iterative process. Okay, I don't want us to, let's not spend so much time here again. So we started from understanding the brief. We knew exactly what we wanted to form. We came up with a name. Now, because we understood what we wanted to do, that informed the feature list. Now, this feature list we have here, through research, we can still find out what is peculiar to our users and then add a feature that will make the experience even better, right? That will make them not to leave the app or finding information somewhere else that they really needed on this app. But we are able to come up with these things. So all these things we've done here now is part of what we call user experience design. All these things we've done here, our ability to list out all these features. Okay, our ability to list out all these features is part of what you call user experience design. Because imagine we designed this app and didn't add the ability to invest your money, then it will create a bad experience because they can't even do what they want to do. Now imagine we created this app and we didn't add a feature to allow them withdraw their money. It becomes a bad experience because they can put their money, they cannot remove their money. Now imagine we finished designing this app and we didn't put like a what's it called? A wallet system that can allow them to hold their money. Then if they put the money, where will they see their balance? It becomes a user experience issue. So all these features we came up with is the user experience design, basically the user experience design. Now we can add more features in future, we can remove more features in future based on how users start interacting with the app. If we notice that everyone coming to the app is basically coming to check rates, we might even pivot the purpose of the app to another thing based on how users are currently using it. We saw the same thing happen with Abeg. When Abeg noticed that people were not really keen into that their vision, what did they do? They changed it to something like Piggyvest. Are we together? So from there, we decided to prioritize it a little bit, and we used the Moscow framework to prioritize our features into must have, should have, could have, won't have. Right? So we said must have are those core features or core functions that the app won't function without them. And based on all the features we listed, I think we did user stories, converted them to features. Okay. So based on all those features we listed, we were able to now prioritize them based on things that we absolutely need. Okay. Now, after prioritizing them, we said, okay, we are going to start with here. We are going to start working on the ones inside these boxes. When we have time, we add this one. When we have time, we add this one. If we have time, we add this one. But the most important one we are going to be doing here is we want to make sure we have our must have and should have. Okay. In most cases, you can just have your must have and launch. Okay. So we are going to try as much as possible to do must have and should have. Okay. So that is what we talked about. From there, we did like a system mapping or user flow of how the app is going to work. Now, We said if you open the app, you are either going to log in or sign up. When you log in or sign up, like if you log in, it checks if your password is correct. If your password is correct, it takes you to the dashboard, and from the dashboard you can fund the account, you can save or invest, then end. Or you sign up. Once you have completed your the sign up process, you go to the dashboard, you fund the wallet, you save, you invest, you end, because this is the core functionality. But inside this, there are a lot of tasks you can do. For instance, there is a task on how to fund your wallet, there is a task on how to invest, there is a task on how to log in, there is a task on how to sign up, there is a task on how to even reset password, there is a task on how to do different tasks. Like if we decide to now put all those viewing transaction and all those things, there is a task on each of them. Are you getting it? So what we want to do right now is to arrange our information in a way that makes logical sense. So you guys didn't do all these tasks. Okay, I can see one task here. So as a user, I want to see my transaction. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to remove this for the task list. Like I told you guys, you don't need that start again. Just show us inside, because we are inside the screen already. Okay, except you want to show task of signing up and all those things. So for our task list here, from dashboard, access transaction history. Okay, so with task list, you want to do more of click, click, click. Okay, so from here, from dashboard, you might want to click transaction. Okay, you might want to click on transaction. Okay, either transaction or transaction. Then it takes you to the transaction history. Then you file sort optional, select transaction for details. Okay, that's basically what it is. So you might go ahead and do, okay, to sign up, the same thing. To do all those things, you just do like the task, step by step, step by step. Now, what this will help you do is to help you know how many screens basically you'll be designing. Okay, this will just help tell you how many screens you'll be designing. Now, do product designers always do all these things before they design? The answer is no. In most cases, most people just use pen and paper to sketch out what they need to do, and they proceed. That's just the reality. Okay, in some cases, they do these things. And like I said again, a lot of the time, your product manager or the UX designer will hand these things to you. But if you happen to be doing all these things, then you have to do them yourself. Okay, so I'll still leave you guys to work on these things, but I want us to go straight to our design. Okay, so let's start arranging how our information is going to be like. So let's come back here. Okay, let's come back here and see some of the things users are supposed to do. Convert. Okay, convert. Let me just pick this. Convert. Okay, they are also supposed to link bank accounts. Okay, they are also supposed to username. Okay, generate a unique ID. ID. Okay, they are also supposed to withdraw funds. Okay, they are also supposed to add funds. They are also supposed to, as I want to create wallets, create and manage wallets. Okay, I'm just checking all these things we have here. As a user, I want to, okay, invest. So let's do the should have transaction history. Okay, news feed. Okay. Now, what we are doing is not much, and in most cases, what you are likely going to be doing won't be much. Now, this is everything we are going to be doing, and yeah, maybe okay, login /register. Now, this is the next step you want to do to arrange informations in a way that makes sense. So these are some of the actions people are likely going to be taking. Okay, these are some of the actions people are likely going to be taking. And what we want to do is to arrange this information in a way that makes logical sense, right? So that people will know exactly how the information on the app is being structured. So this is what we call information architecture. Now, in most cases, when you are designing a large app, that is an app with so many features, so many functionalities, so many things to work on, you can do what you call card sorting. Okay, card sorting or tree testing. This is where you take out all the informations you have on that app, all the informations you have on that app, and you give it to different people to help you arrange them in a way that makes sense to them. Okay, they begin to help you arrange them in a way that makes sense to them. So you might give it to like 10, 20, 30, 50 people. When they all arrange it, you begin to notice pattern. It's also a form of research. You begin to notice pattern. Now imagine you are trying to design an e-commerce website and you have a lot of products. You don't know where to arrange which one. You call people, you give it to them, and they begin to say, oh, I think this one makes sense if it is under here. This one makes sense if it is under here. That is what you call information architecture. So in most cases, you can do a simple test to run it. Okay, that's if you have large stuff. Okay, but in this kind of case, there is no need to go and start saying you want to do card sorting and all those things. It is just here. It don't finish for here, right? Instead, we want to start grouping those ones that relate to each other. We want to start grouping them together. Things like what? We can see that things like add fund, convert fund. Okay, so this convert, I keep having issue with it. I think once you have your money, we need to sort this out how we want it. Once you have your money, do you need to manually convert it, or it convert automatically once you add it to the platform? I need us to discuss. I'm expecting someone to say something. Are you guys here?
Yeah, so in my own suggestion, I want to say since the app is all about converting Naira to USDT, I want to say it can be automatically converting the money.
Okay, that removes this.
Yes.
Okay, so that removes this. So that means immediately you add fund, it shows you what the fund will be in USDT. And then once you do it, it automatically converts to USDT, right? NM,
Yeah.
you raised your hand. You raised your hand.
Yeah, sir. Okay, so I just wanted to second what he said, because basically the goal of the app is to just convert your fund to USDT. So I feel it should just automatically convert it instead of having your Naira stored somewhere in the app.
Okay, so good. So right now we can see add fund. Is there anything that you think here that is closer to add fund? Out of everything we have here,
Withdraw fund.
withdraw funds. So you can see that these two, we might want to group them, add fund, okay, and withdraw fund. So let me just do add fund, withdraw fund. So fund, we might just say fund, withdraw. Okay. So we have these two out. So with this now, this login here, okay. Now add fund, withdraw fund, okay. I think the next thing here we can have is the next thing we want people to be able to do. What else can people do on this app? invest. Okay, they can invest, and we have invests. Okay, what else can people do here? We have wallet, right? We have wallet, okay. And what else do we have here? We have transaction history. So take notes. Let me tell you what information architecture is all about. We have transaction history. Oops. Transaction history. Okay, so we have this one. This news feed. This news feed. Okay, let's have news feed. I don't know if we want to add this news feed, but let's just do that news feed. Okay. So I think this will be under the onboarding, the login. Immediately you finish creating your account, okay? The system should be able to generate your username. So it's not something that we should allow you to choose your username. But if it is something we decide now that we want users to be able to select their user ID, that's fine. So which one are we going with? Should the system automatically create a user ID for people, or should people be able to choose their user ID? Okay, go ahead.
I think people should be able to choose their user ID, so it feels a bit more. It has a bit more of a personal perception to it.
Okay, so remember, we are the ones saying these things now and agreeing on them. So let's take note of that. So that means after you've registered, you select enter user ID. Okay, so we take note of that. Now, this login is usually not always on the same register here. Okay, so funds, under funds, let me move this here. Okay. Now, what are things that people are supposed to do under funds? Under funds, you can link your bank account. You can see where this bank account is coming to. It's coming under funds. So under funds, you can link your bank account. Okay. You can also what? View / manage account balance. Okay. So these are children. Okay, sorry, I mistake. You can link your bank accounts. This is not a direct child of this. This is a direct child of this. So you have to understand, you have to make sure you know how you are relating them. So let me bring this here. Okay. So view / manage account balance. So who can tell me under withdraw? Under withdraw, what are you going to have under withdraw? Anyone? Okay. View and manage withdrawal history. Right? Now, if you are just starting again, if you are just starting and you are wondering, okay, how will I know this is what I'm supposed to do here? Again, the best thing is to look at similar apps and see what they are currently doing there. Okay, and try to understand what they are currently doing. So there is no two ways about it. That's just the reality. So there is no two ways about it. If not, if you think you want to do everything from scratch, you still make those mistakes that people made when UX design was just starting. Okay, so under withdraw, you view and manage your withdrawal history. Now, under invest, you are going to view investments. View investments. Okay. You are going to view investments options. Okay. Under invest. So when you click on invest, you are going to see all the investment options. Okay. View from investment option. From investment option, you are going to view the investment details. Investment details. Okay. And after viewing the investment details, you should also have your investment okay, investment portfolio. Okay. So you're going to have your investment portfolio. Who is writing this here? Now you make me come this way. So after I'll still look at these things to see if they work. So it's not something you just do at once and yeah. Okay. Now under wallet is just the same thing. View and manage wallets. And I'm thinking this wallet to reduce the whole issue, to reduce all this whole whatever, it might directly be linked to our what's it called? Our funds. So view and manage transaction history. Now, this transaction history might actually be what we call our portfolio, because on this platform, it's not like you are buying and selling, okay? It's strictly for investment. So this our transaction history might actually become our portfolio. Let me put it in brackets, because mostly the transactions you'll be doing here is investing. Okay, you are not buying card, you are not doing anything. We want to streamline it. So most of the transaction you'll be doing here is basically that card. So here you are going to view blog articles. We're just arranging the information people are going to see. Okay. So, like I said, I'm trying to find a way to finalize these things. So we fund, withdraw, invest, wallets. Okay. So wallets. So how do we do this? So like I said, I'm likely going to merge this. Okay. The wallet should be directly linked to our fund. So I'm just going to make here wallets. Okay. So I'm going to make here wallet, view and manage account balance. Okay, so once you link your bank account, it directs to your wallet. So immediately you add fund. Okay, link accounts, fund. Fund accounts. Okay, this should be our wallet. So we have our wallet. You have, so under wallet you can fund your wallet. Everything here is all about your funding wallet. Withdraw, you can manage, blah blah blah, right? And invest. Then let me delete this. Transaction history and news feed. So let's still see these investment opportunities. So how do you go through this app? Now, what I've done right now, do you have any question relating to what I've done right now? Let me do this like this. I'm going to bring this here. So investment portfolio, okay, we have it here. Let me remove this. Let's bring this here. Okay. So this is what we have so far. I'm trying to, okay, let me just put them on the same line. Let me put them on the same line. We are still going to work on this. We're just trying to, at this point, we're trying to see all the informations we have, and we are trying to see how to arrange them in a way that makes logical sense, so that we know, okay, when you go to wallet, you can link your bank account, you can fund your wallet, you can also manage your balance, right? And when you go to withdraw, okay, I think from managing your balance, okay, from managing your balance, you can withdraw. So let's do it like this. From managing your balance, you can withdraw. Link accounts, view and manage balance. So I'm trying to, again, what is happening here is more of a brain work. Okay. I will still explain what I'm doing so that you guys can understand it better. And I said this transaction history, you can call portfolio. Now, everything I've done here is basically based on the features that we said we are going to be doing. Okay. Okay, go ahead, Emmanuel Thompson.
So I think portfolio should be together with invest, because
Okay.
it's from is after you have selected your investment plan that portfolio is now created. So it's supposed to be, it should not be a standalone.
Okay. Okay, so I like that idea, but why I want this except we are just going to call this investment portfolio. So if we call this investment portfolio, then under it, we can have different investments. Then when you click on those different investments, you can invest. But the reason why I decided to separate it is because you are likely going to see only investment that you are on this app. Like we said, on this app, you can actually see investment that you've not invested in. So it's until you invest that it goes to your portfolio. Do you get? So it's only when you invest, it goes to your portfolio. So when you've not invested, it won't be inside your portfolio. So if you go to if you go to invest, you are going to see different investment options, right? And when you go to portfolio, you are going to see the investment you've actually signed up for. Do you get it? Again, it all depends on what you are building. So it all depends on what you are building. Some people might still build a product like this and decide for whatever reason they want to merge them. Joshua, you raised your hand.
Yes, sir. The news feed section, I want to know, like, is it important or is it like just something that I just added?
I think someone suggested that it would be good since it's an investment platform. It's good that if you come in sometimes, you can see news on investment related news articles so that you can just read to gain more knowledge. And I felt like it would be helpful.
Okay. Just for the naira, because that's what we're mainly investing. Oh, no.
Yes. So imagine
okay.
you start the app and you see there is a news about maybe Paystack about to be acquired, or Paystack is about to acquire a particular company. That might give you a good information to come and see if that company is available on that platform for you to invest in.
Okay.
Yes, it's just a feature that we added though. No, now we add that. We no talk say it's going to be nice or not. Instead, we added it just based on what we think might add to a better experience.
Okay, because I don't know if we can still check it out on the when we want to know the user experience of the like using Hotjar or something like that. If people are going to
definitely. So if this app was going to be launched, when you launch it, you can now start monitoring how many people are actually checking out the news feed. If you eventually notice that people are not checking it out, that means people are not using it. You can just remove it.
Oh, okay.
So that will inform you. That's where the user experience design starts. So in most cases, the features and app starts with, it's not necessarily what you are going to end up having.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So when people are doing designs like this, they can also, during the brainstorming session, different team members will come up with different features based on the user research or what they feel might solve a particular problem or what they feel might add to improve the experience of the app. Okay. Any other question? Any other question? Anyway, since our app is going to be having a login screen, okay, since our app is going to be having a login screen, I think we are also going to have like a user management right there, okay? So it's usually very easy. It's just user profile. Okay, user profile. So manage user manage. I just want to wrap it up, but under user profile, some of the things you might have is um, updating your name, changing your account, securities, and all those things. Okay, manage user profile. But if you want, you can add all those other things you want to do here so that it can be clear. So when you are designing, I just want us to go straight to design. It's almost 7:19. So from here, okay, from here we have user profile. Some people call this settings. So if you want, you can call it settings, okay? Depending on what you actually want it to be. So from here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? So when you finish logging in, you have your, all these things we presented right on the home, okay? So we have the home here. Let's have our dashboard here. Okay, so on the dashboard, okay, we have the dashboard here. So on the dashboard, we connect this, we connect this, we connect this. We connect this. I think I'm trying to just make this look a little bit better. Oh, it's coming in now. Okay, Vincent. Okay. So if we want, we can give this one's color. We can just give this one another color to separate this. We can just give it color to separate the different levels. Okay. So this is basically like our information architecture. So we know exactly what to do and what not to do. Yeah, so when you log in, you head straight to the dashboard. On the dashboard, you are going to see these top level navigations, and inside each of them, you are going to see all of these things, right? And if we even want to simplify it more, our dashboard can just hold everything here. Okay, but it all depends on how we decide to design it. So our dashboard can hold everything here. So we can just have, from there, we can view the invest portfolio, newsfeed, and user profile. It all depends on how we want to do it. Again, it depends on what you're trying to do. Depends on what you're trying to do. What we're trying to do is not that much. It's not a very cumbersome app. And also, let's say you're even designing a cumbersome app like an e-commerce website. There is no need trying to say you want to do card sorting or tree testing. It's not something new. You go to a similar site and you explore. Okay. So for some of us that are on Designgate that will be completing your project, we have a lot of resources waiting for you inside. So try as much as possible to complete your project. Now, I was talking about research earlier. Anytime you want to design, if there are some flows you also don't understand, you can go to websites like Mobin. Okay, let's go to mobin.com. Now on mobin.com, you are going to see popular sites. And from there, you can start investigating their flows. So if you click on flow, you are going to see different flows. For instance, this bumper app, you can see, let's go to apps. Okay, this like, let's take a look at this fresher. Let's see, fresher. Now, once you click on any app that relates to what you are trying to do, you can use this. I use this most of the time for flow analysis to find out if there is anything you can actually make shorter. Can you make something a little bit faster compared to the already existing flow? So you can see the different screens they have. Okay, the different screens they have. You can also use this for your design research. But in most cases, Mobin is a US-based company. Okay, let me share this screen now. Let me share this. So Mobin is a UX-based company. So you might not see Nigerian, or you might not see some apps right on Mobin. So one particular one I use most of the time, if you want to see like Nigerian related websites, is to try I think it's called UI Land. I think so. Let me see. I always forget the website. UI Land, I think so. UI, oops. UI Land design. Okay, UI Land. Okay, UI Land. So if you go to UI Land, you can search for let's see. I'm still waiting for it to load. Okay. So take note of all these links. They are very helpful. Okay, so you can see paste stack right here. So if you let me also paste it here. So you can see the paste stack app. You can from the onboarding down here. So you can use this. So like I keep telling you guys, you need to really study these things. That's why I'm showing you guys. This is just the reality. And also if you want to learn how to design your screens, okay, screens that works and converts, you can come in and check all these things. So I think I use UI Land more with African apps. So one of the apps I also want us to take a look at is Rise Vest. So if you check, Rise Vest is a platform that allows you to invest. You fund your wallet, you invest, just similar to what we are trying to do. But then again, it uses Naira, but our own is likely going to be using crypto. Okay. So if you're asking yourself, how do I know which screen to do as a product designer, you can always check out these other sites. So you can see the way they did their splash screen. They have their onboarding screen starts from here, and when you click on sign up, you can see their create account. So if you are confused and just don't know where to start, you can just come here, see how they've done their own. But remember, you must not do it exactly like this. Okay, you can do a different design style. Good, but this will give you a whole idea on. Also, you might get a gig, and you might be asking, how many screens am I going to create? This will give you a good starting point to know exactly what you are going to be doing. You can see they created all the error pages, and you select blah 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 blah. Good luck. This is them doing their KYC. So with their KYC, they get your name, your phone number, your date of birth. You create your 6-digit PIN and confirm PIN. You've created your PIN. Restart the app for update. Enable security. Then once you land, this is your dashboard. And let's see what they have here. So they have the home, okay? They have the plans, wallet, feeds, and more. And without, I don't really use them, but I know that's an investment app. But from here, you can see the way they've arranged the information on the app. So what you have here is what the information architecture I'm talking about. So under plans, I'm sure under plans, you are going to have all the plans. I will still scroll so we see it. Now, if you go to wallet, you are basically going to see your total balance and all those things. Under feeds, I don't know what's under feeds, but it might just be investment news. Now, under more, you probably have your profile and all those things. So if we need to sign in. I think I have an account, but it's not with Designgate. Okay, so let me stop now and let's take questions, then we'll proceed. Any questions so far? Okay, Balumi, go ahead.
So yes, sir, good evening, sir. Most of these websites you showed us is for mobile app. So like I want to ask, if you want to like do user research for website, like website research, at the end,
So you want to do a research, but you want to take a look at websites instead.
yes, sir.
Okay, so if you want to take a look at websites, I have this page I use. Design inspiration. I have this U on section. Okay, so what I do most of the time when I'm trying to design, I can come to this on section. Okay, so I will share most of these things with those of you that will complete your class, because I don't like sharing it to people that won't use it. So if I come to this website, if I'm just looking for inspiration, I can search for, also this is a little bit advanced. I don't like showing this to people that are just starting, because it makes you lazy and you don't eventually learn how to create, okay? But once you've learned how to create, these are things that will make you design faster. So you have here, let's say you are trying to design a footer section. You can check out footer, okay? And it's going to show you different nicely designed websites. You can check out their footer designs. And from here, you can mix and match, using the technique we talked about. So let's assume I like this. You can see the way this one is. You can actually remodel this to look like this. So on section.com, let me share it with you guys. But if I'm working on a live website, and I don't have much time, I tend to use this one. This one, I've used it once. I've used this one once. So this one gives you like live components, okay? Component that are already pre-built. You can just copy and paste them and use. Then another great resource is Fig components. Fig components. I don't like that I'm actually pasting these things right now. Like I said, I prefer Fig components. Now, the advantage of this particular site is going to give you some sites that you can literally copy, okay? Let's assume I'm working on a dashboard. I can just come in here and say dashboard, but don't do this. Most of the time, it won't work if you're just starting. I can just say copy to clipboard, and unlike just viewing designs, I can just go to my Figma and paste it. Okay. And yeah, so it's fully editable. Okay. It's fully editable. I know Emmanuel is quite happy, but Emmanuel, don't come to.
I know about. I
Okay,
don't
you know
really
this
use
one,
it like
right?
that.
Exactly. So
I don't really.
I
I
don't
used to use
recommend
my.
this for if you are just starting or you are starting to build a project. I don't recommend this. Where I recommend this, where I use this is, let's assume I'm designing something for a brand and I don't have their app screens. Instead of me just to show app screen, instead of me redesigning this thing from scratch, I will just go there and copy it and paste. Now, when they send me their app screen, okay, I replace it. Or maybe if I'm just looking for inspirations for footer and the rest, I can use it. Because one of the reasons why I said this might not always work for you is the style might not be the style you are aiming for in your own design. But if it is the style you are aiming for, that is fine. Okay. And also people that like this also is developers. Developers, they love things like this. So, but if you are using Mobin as well, okay, I'm trying to answer this inspiration for website. If you come to Mobin, you can see iOS, Android, and web. So you can click on web, and you are going to see different websites, different web apps. And it does not only end here. There are hundreds of sites you can get website inspiration. But one thing I don't advise people to do is to go exploring without knowing what you are looking for, which is why we are taking this approach in this class. Don't go and explore when you don't know what you are looking for. Okay? Know what you are looking for. At least have that aesthetics in mind. Have an aesthetics in mind that this is what I'm going for. So you can now narrow and refine your search based on what you have in mind. Are we together? Don't just go and type in how do most people do this? Maybe e-commerce websites. It's going to give you different things. Have an idea of what you want. And when we get to website design, I will tell you exactly what will inform your ideas. Okay. So I hope I answered your question, Belumi.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And if you are working for a customer, okay, if you're working for any client, one of the easiest way to have an idea or to do your design research is to check their competitors. That's why anytime you want to do website design for anybody, one of the best questions you can always ask them is, who are their competitors? Because the truth is, most people coming to you to design for them, a lot of them have in mind what they want that site to look like. They don't just know how to produce it. So when you ask them who are your competitors, when they tell you, you can go and look at those competitors' website. I remember when I used to design logo, I was always finding it hard. Sometimes I spent 3 days, 4 days working on a logo, right? Meanwhile, I discovered that some of my clients already know what they want, they have in mind. So later on in my questionnaire, I started including things like your competitor, and also, do you have an idea of how you want the logo to look like? I discovered that by asking them that question, if you do something they already wrote out or something close to that of their competitors, they are easily going to sign off on it. But when you don't even know what the person is looking for, what they have in mind, their competitor, you spend so much time working on something that you are supposed to round up already. Okay. But except if you are doing like brand identity design, that is when it's a little bit different, because brand identity design, you are creating the whole design experience. So that one you can cut off your leg. But if it is just logo design, ask them what they want so they don't waste your time and you don't waste their time. So the same thing applies to website design. You can always ask them so they can easily, so it fastens the whole thing if you can actually see like a visual direction. If you don't have a visual direction, that is when it becomes a problem. So right now, I think we shared last class, we talked about different visual direction or visual style you can use. Now, the reason why I advise, if you're just starting, it's good to use visual design, some styles, is so that you won't spend time contemplating on what to do. Okay, you won't spend so much time contemplating on what to do. So I shared a couple of design yesterday because I want us to proceed. I pasted these ones. So I pasted this and I pasted this. Now, this is an example of soft UI. Okay, these are all soft UI screens. And one of the things you notice about soft UI screens is like this subtle use of shadow to simulate elevations. Okay, these are just the key properties you should note. And they also have this use of gradients to accentuate some part of the screens. Okay, you'll always see these subtle gradients and bright, bright colors. So this like a dashboard, this like another dashboard. You can see different styles, but it's basically the same. This is another type of dashboard. You can notice this, the backgrounds are usually gray, and then the white, that's the foreground. The containers, they just have this shadow that's, they are little soft shadows that separate them from the background. And in case you're asking, okay, is this just app? You can clearly see a website that uses this same pattern of soft UI. You can see the soft shadows, the gradients, and I'm live on YouTube. There's a project I'm currently working on. I would have share with you guys, but I'm live. I can't share. So this is soft UI. Okay, soft UI. And in soft UI, you can even mix a little bit of glassmorphism inside. It will always come out new. So soft UI, you can see soft UI. So this is soft UI for you. So if this is the kind of aesthetics you are going for, you now go and take a look at the principles. Principles remains the same. They use large, mainly neutral gray, white backgrounds, right? Now, to accentuate important informations, they use gradient colors. Things like buttons, they use gradient colors for those important ones. And to give the some of the UI components depth, okay, they have these shadows that just gives it a soft depth. And you can see on this component, they've used a little bit of glassmorphism right on the component. So once you know that, okay, this is the kind of aesthetics you are going for, you should already now know, oh, my button, the important ones, they are going to be gradients. And I'm going to create like soft shadows to elevate some certain elements. And on some other elements, I want to make them have this kind of glassmorphic shape. Now, this will help you plan your design. You can see glassmorphism here. You can see the glassmorphism, the way it's blurring out the background. Now, that is soft UI, okay? And then we have Neo Flat. Neo Flat is the brother of Flat UI. Is the senior brother of Flat UI. Now, instead of shadows in most cases, Neo Flat uses a contrasting color to create that depth. Okay. I want you to take a look at this design pattern. You can actually see some form of depth, but you can see there are no overly used. Remember, it's flat. Flat, we always have like shadow. In flat, you make less use of shadowy effects. Okay. But you can see how we have this gray here and we have this white here. The big thing about NeoSoft is that this white is going to have an outline. That container, we have an outline that kind of makes it stand out from that gray. Okay, so that's the thing about Neo Flat interface. Let's take a look at this other one. Neo Flat, let me go to light color. You can see this and that, they are borrowing the same leaf. Now, let's see an example of a website using Neo Flat. Now, I decided to use live websites so that you can see how they implement it in real life. Now, you can see a clear difference between this website, right? this particular website, and this website. So if this is what you are going for, awesome. You can decide to go with this, but what you need to know is you have to reduce your use of shadows. Instead, you are going to be using this contrasting color of white and gray to simulate whatever level of elevation you want to do. Are you getting it? So this is new flat, and when you come in here, you scroll, you can see what we are talking about. You can see the way they color the gradients, sorry, the gray on the outline makes everything looks, so it is called neo flat. Now, if this is the aesthetics you are looking for, fine, you can go with it. And I mentioned one other one, which is modern UI. So this modern UI is almost similar to soft UI. Okay, but the difference mainly is in the level of elevation. Okay, in the level of elevation, you see modern UI a lot, and they make use of real images, right? Real hyper images. Okay, now take a look at this. On modern UI, you don't have excessive gradients here and there, but you can use high contrasting colors. I get it to make the design more punchy. You can use gradient, but not excessively. Everything you want to do is in moderation. So this is like a sample of a modern UI dashboard. So like I said, we have different design styles. Last week I gave you guys about 7 of them. Was it 7 or 6? Right, you can just start with any one. If you want to go with neo brutalism, that is fine. If you want to go with glassmorphism, that is fine. If you want to go with neomorphism, that is fine. But you can always mix match 1 or 2 design style. So for our design now, we are going to choose one design pattern, and I think someone said we should do soft UI and modern UI, right? Okay, so we'll be doing soft UI and modern UI. So with this in mind, we can start setting up our mood board. Okay, with this in mind, you can start setting up your mood board. Now remember, I'm breaking it down like this so that it can be very easy for you, so that when you are trying to do your design research or you are trying to get inspirations for your design, you know exactly the look to look out for. So now we know we are going for this kind of designs where you see different type of design patterns. So if you go to a site like what's the name? Dribble. Okay. So if I go to a site like Dribble, I can search for soft UI mobile app screen. Now, one thing I don't always like doing when I'm doing like design research, one thing I don't like doing is to type in the exact kind of app I'm building. Make you end up copying a particular design from start to finish. Instead, explore your horizon a little bit. Now, based on what we've done so far, if you are looking at all these designs, you should exactly know the ones we are talking about. So we are talking about something like this. Okay, we are not talking about something like this one. This is like new flat. We're not talking about this. This is what's the name? So we're not talking about something like this. Obviously, we are not. This is modern design. This is modern design. We can see high realistic picture right there. We're not obviously talking about something like this. Okay. Okay. And anytime I'm on Dribble, have team under them or pro. Okay, because anyone can design and post on June. So I like the ones by team that I know that it has probably been tested. Okay. So let's keep going. Although I already know what I have based on the style we've chosen, it's very easy to implement. We already know that our buttons might be gradient and all those kind of things. So we just follow those particular patterns. Okay, so we can see our guy right here. You can see soft UI. Once you see, the key takeaway from this class now is when you see a okay. My network is quite slow. I don't know. %. What is? Let me see. Let me cue something. Okay. So I'm still scrolling. Oops. And yes, you can create your own style, but not now. The network is quite slow, quite slow, quite slow. I like this style. It's a kind of who can tell me the name of this style? Mass whether on the line.
Geomorphism.
This one here. Let me open it up. Who can tell me the style they are recognizing from here? Who can tell me what this
Like
style
that
is?
new flats and new flats.
This particular style is more related to neo-brutalism. You can see the thick black lines around it. It's like a minimal version of neo-brutalism. Let me show you something. Neo-brutalism. Wow. You can see it now, right? You can see. So you can see. You can compare it to this. You can once you see these solid shadows outline dark like that, you should just be able to tell. So the person just used it a little very minimal. I can even see those illustrations. Okay. So I think I've shopped enough. Let's just look at the ones with. Okay, so I like this one, but this one, yeah, this one was carry us tripaye. When you see designs like this, don't get scared, okay? These things you can always download this kind of assets to use on your product. That if you don't have like a 3D person in your team, you can always download them as assets. And there are some pretty good Figma plugins that can help you create assets like this. So when you see things like this, don't get scared. Okay. Okay, let's see this one. Let's see this one. This one is modern design. Now, modern design, one of the characteristics of modern design, again, you see use of large text that are not bold, right? Large text like this. And they always make this actually one of the most popular design style right now. Okay, see how this one is looking like. Oh, I think we'll go for something like this. What do you guys think? Okay, so we are going for something like this. So at this point, I'm just going to take this one, copy this my image. Let's come in here on our mood board. Let's paste it. Again, if you are just starting your design journey and you think somehow you will just jump into Figma and you start creating and you come up with something beautiful, you are only deceiving yourself. Now, let me tell people how creativity works. In most cases, as creatives, for me and for most creatives I've spoken with, in most cases, your creativity starts while you are creating, not necessarily the way most people think it works. Okay, if you are thinking of something as you are going on the road, the idea of what to do might just hit you. Then when you go home, you start working. Now, in terms of design, as you are designing, the more you design on a particular screen, there's something called convergent and divergent thinking. Both of these kind of thinking happens at the same time. As you are designing, you are arranging things, you are sizing, resizing things, placing things different places, trying to see what works and what doesn't work. And that's why the best way for designers is, as you are designing, once you get a new idea, don't delete what you were doing before, just duplicate and continue. That's the reality. So why I want us to work on this kind of design is so that I can show you guys how to create this kind of effect, because this is a learning process now. I want to show you guys how to create this kind of, because sometimes if new designers, people like that just starting design, if they see this kind of components, they are always wondering, how was this created? Or if they create their own, will just look like that. I don't know how many of you have been there. You finish, you just know it's not it, but you know what you are looking for. So, so one of the best way to start these things is to watch someone that have probably been doing it a lot of time do it for you. And once you do and where you see them, you know, go ever come up for your head again. That is just it. Okay. And I like this one too. I like this. I like this. I like this. So yeah. Again, if you are just starting, you must do some of these things. Okay. So if we should post this thing like this, okay. If we should post this thing like this and share with someone and say, this is the kind of outlook. Now I could do more shopping to bring in related designs here. If you send it to someone and say, okay, this is the look and feel. If you take a look at these two apps, they have the same look and feel. If you send it to someone like your client and say, this is what I'm looking at, this is how the look and feel of that app is going to be when we are done creating or when we are done designing, they will automatically have an idea without you having to complete the entire design before they say, my wife said you don't like her. But this will give them an idea of what to expect. Okay. And if you also have designs like this on your portfolio, that is when you blame your village people. If after 6 months of applying for jobs, you get, you have to blame your village people. But if your design no reach like some of these levels, don't blame your village people. Or put the blames on yourself, because your portfolio is not giving what it's supposed to be giving. Okay. So in 2004, you must work with portfolio. Unlike us that we are lucky. We started design, this UI design, the time where it was just becoming a thing in Nigeria. So for me, I have clients I already work with, right? But if you're looking for a job, so most of the time when people ask me your portfolio, I don't send them portfolio. I just send them a couple of my client lists. So by the time they see my client list, you know, they will just they'll know. Okay, really. I once had a client that was trying to price me. As I send our client list, he first see ECOWAS in mind first day. So even some of you that work on Upwork, okay, if you've ever worked on Upwork, see, even if in a $10 job you did on Upwork, that person company, that company name, put them there, put that UK address, make them see am. By the time the person see, UK, hey, oh, this person is very expensive. In fact, your goal as a designer is when someone is reaching out to you, they should have that impression that you are expensive. They should never have the impression that you are cheap. If not, they will give you a price that will send you back to your village when they are reaching out to you. So that's why your design too needs to look it, okay? From your design, like, see, if you have this type of design on your portfolio, nobody with $10 will be coming to you. In fact, anybody with $10 coming to you will always come with, I want us to partner. Exposure and all those things, you know. So we are going to be looking for this. I'm going to look for more design because it's 8 o'clock already. I'm going to look for more designs that have this kind of looks, and we are going to be recreating them. So after we are done with this class, I'm saying this to encourage all of us to complete it. After we are done with this class, the learning process, I will still give you guys some assets that, because the reality is you can't always start some of these things from scratch because of time. But this one that we are learning, we are going to do from scratch so we can learn. Okay. But for those of you that will complete this class, and I will add you to our private, basically my own private group, where I add people that I will carry your matter on my head as if it's my personal property. Although when we get there, we'll cross that river, add you to that group. I will give you some access to some, very expensive resources that your Twitter fabs always use to quickly cook up design and your post, and people say, oh, wow, you always cook. But it is strictly for professional. Now, professional, they use templates. Templates, not be for beginner. If you're a beginner and you start using templates, you will spend more time trying to know how the template works before you know time don't go. Emmanuel, go ahead.
So, is there a special way to arrange for screens like this, or maybe website or anything? Just like the way we do
a special way to arrange what?
mood boards for UI screens.
Yes. So
like the way we do in brand design.
Yes. So in most cases, it depends on your organizational level. I'm not going to teach you organization stuff here because we don't have that time. So for most people, for most people, let me tell you what most people do. And also it depends on the time. Based on all the components you are expected to create, you can have mood board, you can arrange them, you can come in here and you type in button. Okay, you type in button, then you come online, you search for button or any app that have the kind of button, the look of the button you want to go for. You arrange them under here. Then you can come down and you can say hero section. You arrange them. So the person is already having an idea. Reason why I like mood board, it's a form of research whereby you should do it well. Sometimes I use images from my mood board to set up landing pages, a landing page design, and not with the client content, but with already existing mood design from the mood board. So a client is looking at it and they know exactly the kind of look they are going to get when the design is ready. So you can arrange it like this and send in, but when you don't have the time, you have something set up in your head, you can just pick, and you start working on it, and then they can start seeing it. Okay?
But I also believe that organization makes you earn more and makes you look good, your client have good perception about you.
Yes, we teach you what I'll teach you guys that relates to product design and UI UX is documentation. Documentation and I'll teach you guys documentation, but organization, you have to manage the small one. You learn from Spendy, that's Spendy. Uh-huh. But with mood board organization, I'll only teach you guys documentation. Over time, you get better with organization, or you can just take some popular organization structure you see on other people's page. It's easy to just implement. There are some things I don't like spending time on, things that are not technical. Okay, but documentation, we will definitely do documentation. That's why if you notice, I've been taking note of all these things we've been doing, so it will be part of our documentation.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to do before you guys come in tomorrow, I'll quickly do a simple um, logo and then choose the color palette. Already you can see where we are going to. So you can see that we're going to use very vivid, bright colors for our design. And yeah, you can see we have the black there. We want to make everything sleek. Okay, so I'm also going to add in more images here to visually guide us. But I think everyone here, the essence of this is everyone here have an idea of what to expect. It might not necessarily look exactly like this because again, we will not have cards because our app no get anything like cards. Are you getting it? Instead, what we could do if we want to follow the scamper method is we could adapt. Okay, instead of these cards here now, let me do a simple question. Instead of these cards, who can tell me what we could use here?
Please take the question again, sir.
Using the scamper method to adapt this, let's say we like this design here, but you can see this component is basically cards, the cards the person is using. Who can tell me what we can adapt this to based on the design we are doing? Anyone?
I think it should be your portfolio, your investment portfolio.
Awesome. So by the time if we want to really adapt this into our design, we can just make it our investment portfolio, whereby this one will be showing the maybe rise investment, your investment, what you invest, and how much you've earned, and when it's supposed to end. And then if you have like 10, 5, they'll just stack at the back like that. But then we still have our menu bar where you can just go and access them easily. Do you see how you can begin to adapt things like that? So this design thing there will not pass like this. But at the instance of you creating these things, idea will just strike your head. You just if you are sitting for the idea to come, it won't come. You need to be creative for a creative idea to hit you. The thing they hit is I don't know how to explain, but now hit they hit. You can finish your sketch, enter Figma, then you do something else. That's how it works. Your sketch just helps you, just helps you redirect you. But like I said, I want to teach you people how to create all this kind of design. And remember, when you go to your own, what I also want to see is if we are able to do this, maybe your own, you might decide to redesign your own using the neo brutalism style. But if the new brutalism style you are trying is going to also brutalize your portfolio, please switch back to the one you are doing now and create the one you know. But if you have the time, after recreating something like this, you create a new style for it. You can even use the two of them as a case study. You can even do a case study of I redesigned this app in 2 different popular visual style. Which do you prefer? You can just give a breakdown of the 2 of them, and people will be like, yay. And of course, here it says total earnings. Are we going to do something like this? I don't know. But when we start designing, we proceed. Okay. But you can see what we are looking at here. What you should take note of here, you can see fonts, very sleek, nice fonts that are large. clean interface, gradients, touch of gradients here and there, and blank backgrounds like this, I don't know if you've seen all those designs, you see it's a white background, but when you redesign your own white background will be looking duller. Eh? You'll be like, you check, your own is FFFFF. You also, when I was starting UI design, it's always surprising. I will design finish. I will check, my own white is dull. What is going on here? Which sorcery is this? I will check the two colors. They are FFFFF. I'll be like, nah, this is sorcery. So these things are just small things that, let me show you. Example is this Figma. If you change this Figma to white, okay, if you change this Figma to light, you see, it just looks like their white is whiter than white. Are you getting it? If you do your own white, you'll be like, nah, this is not my own. Now compare this white here and this one. It's almost like the Figma only. I don't know. So there are just some little tricks that they use that tricks your eye to feel like it is whiter than white. So that's why I want us to do this kind of design, and it's going to help you. So from tomorrow, we've done everything we need to know. So from tomorrow, we are starting from our screens. So I'm just going to arrange how we are going to be doing the screens. Already from here, you should know how the screen is going to look like. So preference, themes, dark. Okay, so from here, we should know exactly what we are doing. So all of you have access to this file. So we have our mood board here. We can use here for our components and style guide. And we can use this for SMN app V1. Okay, V1.0. Let me add a little demarcation there. Hyphen. Okay. So this is where we'll be designing, and it's easy to know exactly what we are doing. Okay. If you come back here, we are going to have our login flow. We are going to have our app. Okay. Let me just specify it. We are going to have our splash screen. Okay, let's do a quick to-do today. So everyone, sorry, let me do a quick to-do. Okay, let me just do the to-do here. Okay, let's do to-do. So we are going to have our splash screen. Then after that, we do our login flow. Okay, sign up flow first. Sign up flow. We do our login flow. Then we do our forget password flow. Okay. Oops, I forgot. We'll do our onboarding flow. Except we don't want to include onboarding, but it's always important to include it. Maybe this to-do I used before. Why can't I move this? This is not the one which one is linked to do? Anyway, we'll do this. Then once we do this, we'll do our dashboard. Once we do our dashboard flow, we'll do we'll do our link account flow. Yeah, join the team. We do our link account flow. We do our fund wallet flow. We do our invest flow. We do our withdraw flow. I think I will just stop here. Article flow, news feed flow. So if there's anything else we need to do, but this will just give us a guide as to what we are going to be doing. So it's also important to list out some of these things, okay? Whenever you are starting your design, so you know what to do. If you don't know what to do, go back here and look at these things we said we are going to be doing, okay? All these things, all these things, all these things, all these things. Okay? We've not added user profile. Do it as well. Okay, Joshua, you real? Go ahead.
Okay, sir. Please, I don't have access to the Figma file, to this particular Figma file now.
Same here, sir. Too.
People like Wahala. What is your name? Arome. Arome. Let me add Arome. What's your name? Joshua.
I'm there
Joshua,
already.
you here? Okay.
I'm not.
Who
I
else
can't
is
find
not?
it.
Joshua, I've added you. Follow me. Follow me. 82.
Yes, sir.
Who else does not have access to this file?
Amen.
Pardon? Okay, amen. Okay. Who else? Okay, let me invite. So if you check your email, you just see the link to join the file. So every one of us should have access to this file, because on this file, as we are designing, we'll be creating our style guide, components library, and we'll just be, designing. And like I said, always make sure you use Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to recreate your own. Okay. And yeah, that's all for tonight. So you can see, this is the last time I'm going to ask. If you have questions on the other part, ask now, because now we don't move. Once we move after today, every other question I expect should be on the UI design. Okay. Okay, NM.
Yeah, so sorry. I wasn't on screen when you did this. How did you come about this to-do list? Like, how did you create this to do what's it called?
Okay, so there are widgets. If you come here, there are widgets. They are called widgets. So if you go to plugin and widgets,
okay,
you can literally get anything you want. If you are looking for, even if you are trying to design, if you are looking for a timer, if you type timer, you are going to see a timer. If you are looking for widget to help you with project management, you are going to see them here. You can see timeline. Timeline, you can create a timeline of what you want to do at any, so you can follow through. So it shows you anytime you log in, if you open this app, if you don't close it, if you open this app, you can always see it. You can easy to be monitoring yourself. So if you decide, okay, you know what, this project, like I told you guys, don't attack a project at once. You go run. If you decide, like tomorrow now, we are going to be mainly doing, since we're just starting, we are going to mainly focus on our splash screen and maybe a sign-up flow. So once we do that, we'll go and rest. Next tomorrow, we'll come back. Right, we can't say we are coming to do everything tomorrow. So you can set yourself, set a timer for yourself and say, okay, I'm going to spend 2 hours working on this. Then you set a timer, and after 2 hours you can rest. And as we are going forward, I'll show us a lot of things that you can do with this plugin, like those kind of shapes I told you not to be worried about. For instance, if I type shapes, Okay. If I type in shapes, I use this one most of the time to confuse my clients. So if I type in shapes, if I run this particular one, I can draw any shape I want. So that's why I say sometimes this is the reason why you paid. Okay, you didn't pay. There's no new information I'm really giving you. I'm just helping you arrive your destination faster based on my own experience, and that's what everyone is doing. It does not matter if you want pay $10, $100, $5,000. The information is just to help you get to where you're going faster. Like probably you might not know that this exists. So within the course of this design, there are some things I will still touch just to show people how to create some very popular design styles and trends you see online, so that you are able to design such things too and join the bandwagon and start posting and start posting on Twitter too, so that you can start getting jobs. Again, the essence of this training is to help you get a job. And now the reality is, since we started these design gates, we don't have a lot of completion. It's always like that, even on Udemy. I know majority of you here don't buy course for Udemy where you don't finish. Even your great grandchildren will not finish that course. But that's why I use these materials. I use all these materials I'm going to be giving out as a bait to try and get people to complete. Okay, and trust me, if you complete it and we set up your portfolio, if you don't get a job within 3 months or a gig that will pay you like times 5 or times 10 or whatever you use in registering for this program, I will take you to a church where they'll help you pray for me. But you must finish. You must finish, right? Okay. Yeah, that's just the 411. So I'm just telling you guys, all the people that have actually completed their Designgate classes, okay, if they are, let me say, since we've done this stream 4, I can say that we've had out of if we've trained, we've not like trained complete, like people that started, people that registered and started, let's say they've been up to like 150 or 170. But the people that have actually completed and done their projects, unfortunately, they are just like 7 or 8. And these 7 or 8, about 6 don't get job, right? So you also be surprised. How many are we here now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are 5 here. About 17 people registered for this class when it started. But right now, people are just 5. So it's always like that. That's why in our adverts, we don't try to deceive people. They say break into tech. But the problem with breaking into something is that you go wound. You go wound if you decide to break in. And that's why a lot of people, they think this thing is something they can break into. But then they force, so they use breaking, their leg go break. They don't come out, go back to affiliate marketing. So like this one, I can just say read shape, see, clear road, or who knows, Abi. And when you import things like this in your design, they will think like you are a blender expert, clear road for who's Abi. So things like this are just, now is it me? Now me do this plugin? No. But can it help elevate my design? The answer is yes. Okay, so if we are designing this alone, okay, if I have like a screen here now, by the time I integrate this into it somewhere here, okay, maybe make it 2 here and make this one smaller. Okay, we're already heading somewhere with this. But then, did I create this from, so that's, I'm just trying to show you guys the good thing about Blender. So anything you think you can do on your Adobe Illustrator or any advanced design tool, plugins on Figma can help you achieve them. There is plugin for generating noise, plugin for removing background, plugin for simulating animation, realistic animations, plugin for anything, okay? But we'll learn how to design first. I'm just saying it. So if you know exactly what you want to do, just come and search for that plugin. You just type in what you want to do. You definitely see a plugin that can help you do that. Even if you have like a solid background and you want to break them into tiny particles, there's a plugin that can help you do that. So yeah, so we'll be doing this and more starting tomorrow. We are going to start our design. So already you know the aesthetics we are going for. And by tomorrow, I should just do a simple logo and I'll introduce you guys to the typography we are going to be using. Again, it's going to look similar to what you have. But in most cases, if you don't know the typography to use, you stick to the system typography. For iOS, it is San Francisco, and for Android, it is Roboto. Although I think they've changed Roboto to something else. I've forgotten. Anyway, any question? Okay, no question. So please make sure we come in early tomorrow. Okay, this is where we are going to learn how to design. Okay, some advanced stuff. You can see that particular design we just shopped now. It is not your typical spendy design. And yes, some of you too, like some of my old students, what they also did was after learning how to design better, you can go back to spendy and try and try improving it small so that you can publish it on your portfolio as well. So yeah, you can also do that. Okay, thank you for those of you watching us on YouTube. Thank you for joining. Really appreciate you guys. I think that's the end of today's class. So we're going to continue again tomorrow. Okay, so thank you guys for joining. Let me disconnect. Stop streaming.
Thank you, sir. Good night, sir.